So Maria is asking on my video about tax debt relief explained. Link to that video at the top of the screen. Maria is asking if I owe $63,000 and offer a settlement of $40,000, do you think they would agree? And this is a very common question we get. It's common, well, not with these specific numbers, but it's a very common kind of question we get when people have their free consultation at Choice Tax Relief. And if you want a free consultation about your tax debt, give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Because, and I understand where this is coming from. Because if this were any other kind of marketplace negotiation, right? If this were a marketplace negotiation, let's say you borrowed money from a third party, you owe $63,000 and they've been trying to collect money from you and they haven't been able to, and you approach them with an offer of $40,000, they might take it because getting 40 is better than getting nothing. So I see where this is coming from, but the reality is when you're negotiating a settlement offer with the IRS, we're not talking about a marketplace negotiation here. We're talking about something that is actually surprisingly formulaic. As a matter of fact, I've created a whole hour-long video on the offer and compromise formula. Link to that video here at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, where I get into all the intricate details of how to calculate the offer amount, if any, that the IRS will accept to settle your tax debt. Now, I made that video a few years ago. There are some figures in it, IRS standard figures that are out, maybe a couple years outdated, but not by much. So Maria, there's actually a formula here that I talk about in that other video to understand how much the IRS may be willing to entertain as an offer. Of course, there's some back and forth with the offer examiner, offer specialist. After you submit the offer, they're going to push back on some expenses. They're going to, say, what about this? What's this deposit in your bank statement? But the starting point is really calculating that reasonable collection potential. And that's something I explain in my video on the offer and compromise formula, Maria. So, bottom line, without actually working through your numbers, the numbers that would go on Form 433 AOIC, write that down, look it up on the internet. It's impossible for me to tell you if your proposal of $40,000 on $63,000 of tax debt is likely or unlikely to be accepted. Because here's the thing, and if this is all kind of, you're not quite following, I want you to remember this, and anyone who's watching this who's interested in offer and compromise to remember this. With an offer and compromise, it matters more about what you own and what you make than what you owe. Okay? It matters more about what you own and what you make than what you actually owe. Because look, it doesn't matter if your reasonable collection potential is $100 by the IRS's math. If you work through the offer and compromise formula, you fill out the 433 AOIC, you submit the form 656, and your reasonable collection potential is a bona fide $100, and that is defensible according to the IRS's own math and rules with IRM citations. Then it doesn't matter if you owe the IRS $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million. You should be able to submit that offer for $100 to the IRS and it should be accepted. And that $100 is not a function of how much you owe, it's a function of your assets and your income. This is surprising to some people because, again, people think that you're approaching the United States government to negotiate an offer to sell your back tax debt as though this were a car dealership or as though this were some business that lent you money, and now that you got to pay the piper and you got to figure out, well, how much you're going to be able to pay them back and negotiate it that way. That's not how IRS negotiations work. If you want some more tips about how IRS negotiations actually work, please watch my video about IRS negotiations. A link to that video is going to pop up right here at the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Like I said earlier, if you'd like a free tax relief consultation, give us a call at Choice Tax Relief, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or fill out the form at choicetaxrelief.com, and we will reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.